file this one under censorship from the government. This government agency is trying to silence a finance company from complaining about crime in Chicago, alleging it has racist implications. And this is what the left do. They can't say you're lying, so they'll call you a racist. And it's so infuriating because it's just like, prove me wrong, please. I would love to be proven wrong here. Somebody prove me wrong. I hate being proven right all the time. Another U.S. government agency known as the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau has managed to put itself in the center of yet another free speech and censorship controversy and get accused of abusing authorities by overstepping its powers. In this case, the CFPB said to have massive jurisdiction and power that goes along with it, has taken a small mortgage company to court because of what they've said on a radio show and on a podcast. This is now treated by those fighting the lawsuit as a First Amendment violation and as an authority violation as per the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. The non-bank mortgage firm, a form of alternative money lending financial institution, is Townstone Financial, based on the Chicago area. But the problem with CFP has with Townstone is not the financial deadlines per se. It has more to do with the company's position on social issues and crime. You see, people, you can run a business and follow all the laws you want. But if you have the wrong politics, people in government will use their powers to tyrannize you. And that's what's happening here. The CFPB is supposed to rein in banks when they are exploiting the customers, doing fraudulent loans, for example. That's not what's happening here. This bank has a stance on social issues relating to crime. And so this government agency, which is supposed to regulate the loans, is going to go after them through the loans because of their bad politics. This is a clear overreach of government and why government has and can't have too much power. Because this is what happens. They'll abuse it in weird and cruel ways. Namely, the lawsuit was filed at the height of not only the pandemic, but race-related social upheaval in the 2020. No wonder perhaps the CFPD was quick to pull the trigger and allege the firm, its owner, and others were guilty of making financial statements that would discourage black loan seekers from applying for a mortgage by complaining about the rising crime in the city. What? I'm sorry here. Plaintiff v. Townstone. Introduction. The venue is proper. Factual allegations. They're a bank. Okay, so here we go. A majority African American neighborhood or area is a census tract in which more than 50% of the residents in identified U.S. Census are either black or African American, which is why we need to stop tracking this data. Man, they just love to put people in a box like that. A high African American neighborhood. Okay. Chicago comprises lots of high black areas. Okay. And they're 17% African American. Okay, and they're marketing. Engaged in acts or practices directed at prospective applicants that together or separately would discourage prospective applicants on the basis of race from obtaining or seeking credit. How they do it? What did the ads show? The business model, let's see here. What did the ads show? The long form show for infomercial. Yep, and since there's been an infomercial, and what else has happened? Chicago real estate experts. This show is brought to you by Townstone Financial, home loan experts since whatever. For example, okay, and what'd they do? Hoodlum Week. Oh my God! So they're going back to 2014 and 2016 to find wrong acts and wrong opinions. You see, And Monday, hoodlum weekend. What? I'm going to go back to the previous article here. In the fullness of time, it looks like yet another canceling attempt. And this time the CFPB is the role of Goliath in this legal battle. Didn't even bother giving examples of how customers from Townstone were mistreated or discriminated against. CFPB instead went for discrediting Sterner for his speech, specifically statements he made over the previous years. 2020 was the year when trying to dig up real perceived controversial racially charged comments from the past was very much en vogue. So the comments on Quentler made on a weekly radio show podcast called his Townstone Financial Show, and let's see here, saying the hoodlum, let's see here. Sterner was heard describing rampant crime happening on weekends on Chicago's South Side and saying it was perpetrated by hoodlums. Yes, it is. And that it was police who needed to be credited for preventing the city from becoming a real war zone. Oh yeah, because if you say something's a war zone, that means blacks. According to this lawsuit, not me. I would never say something racist like that. CFPD took umbrage with descriptions of neighborhoods that were due to crime levels, one wants to drive through really fast and not make eye contact. It was these statements that the government agency asserted had the goal of discouraging applicants from applying at the mortgage company because of their race. What a stupid... These lawyers are stupid. This lawyer is either... Okay, lawyers are not stupid. This is a dumb lawsuit with the purpose of silencing a businessman's speech. This is awful. This is tyranny. Me saying I don't like how Chicago's becoming a war zone won't stop somebody from coming to my business and getting a loan on the basis of their race. Because me saying Chicago's a war zone has nothing to do with anybody's race. If I make race-neutral comments saying Chicago is a bad place, and Chicago happens to be a mostly black city, that's not stopping people from coming to my business in Chicago, where I live. You can't even criticize the place where you live. Man, the town I live in really sucks, yo. You're gonna get sued. You're gonna get your business taken away from you. Now, observers and legal experts, such as those with the Pacific Legal Foundation Public Interest Nonprofit, say there's cause for concern surrounding this case for several reasons. Standing out among those are those critics who refer to a flagrant attempt to apply anti-discrimination rules to speech made to a general audience in a mass venue rather than individual customers or employees in a workplace. I'm surprised they don't go after Trump and his businesses with this type of stuff. Our cat. Get out of here. The Pacific Legal Foundation, which represents Townstone, in this dispute, filed a brief claiming that the CFPD should be allowed to carry out the enforcement this way. Oh, should they be allowed to carry out the enforcement? Would aggravate, arrogate, i.e. unjustifiably give the agency the right to censor. The passage of time and the big picture have not resulted in CFPB rethinking its approach. Federal judge of Northern District of Illinois threw out the lawsuit, distinguishing his findings and backing up his arguments with applicable laws, between which actually discrimination against applicants and discouraging them from applying the law in Townstone is accused of doing. But the CFPB decided that the right way to proceed was to press on, and now the agency appealed in early April. So this is, the government lost its case. It couldn't prove there was any discrimination. So instead they're going to appeal it. Because rather admit fault, oh, we're wrong here. No, we can't ever be wrong. We're always going to appeal it. The gall, man, the audacity. I hate the government so effing much. You got thrown out. Instantly dismissed. Dismissed flat out. Thrown away. This should have been dismissed of prejudice too, probably. So you appeal it. What? This appeal is not good. This is not going to be a good appeal, by the way. Because now this appeal is going to have precedence. This appeal is going to be something other people can cite to now. And it's going to weaken future discrimination cases. Unless they think, oh, dude, they're trying to think an appeals court will rule. It would be really bad if an appeals court ruled in favor of this. That would be absolutely terrifying. So, it doesn't matter that Chicago's new mayor, Brandon Johnson, is now 3 years later making similar statements about the crime epidemic in Chicago's neighborhood. And Johnson, unlike Sterner, not appreciative of police work in quite the same way. In fact, okay, so we're talking about that guy. Why is it that the case is more clear for Pacific Legal Fund Foundation's brief, which said that if the CFPB's take on Equal Credit Opportunity Act is accepted as valid, anyone employed or associated with consumer finance who makes a random comment on social media could be subject to punishment by the agency. The policymakers interested in real discussions about crime and public safety should arrest the CFPD's crude attempt at censorship. Damn, yeah. These lawyers at the CFPB need to go to jail. They're trying to silence a man for his free speech, not actually any crimes he did. They can't name any actual people who felt discriminated. There's no real victims here. And that's what makes it so sickening. If there's actually somebody, a victim, alleging something and they complain to the government, it would be in the case here. It's not. So the government's just picking on this person. This is might as well be the bake the cake. Bake the cake in Colorado going on here. Same thing. But now it's for consumer finance protection. You're all right. This case is making me mad. If you guys are equally mad and angry, make sure to share this video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.